Okay. Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about again the Emperor of All Maladies, part. How many videos did I do so far? I'm not sure. Whatever. Just call this part something. Anyways, where we left off with the special broadcast with Jimmy for the Cancer Foundation. Eventually, the whole thing went into something called the Jimmy Fund, which exceeded its original fund line, from $20,000 to about $213. $213,000, which is a huge leap from what they expected. And though it is a pretty large surplus of money, it wasn't quite enough to help Farber realize his dream, his experiment into curing cancer, acute leukemia, that is. And the Farber Fund was just a little test for him. And through the Farber Fund, he continued to amass more money, and even though he wanted to build more space for his patients, the hospital that he was in did not allow him to do so. And what did he do instead? Instead of crying around and being furious over it, actually he did, but only for a few moments, he decided to make his own hospital. A children's hospital, which was largely made and edited for kids. And so basically it's like your general hospital, except it's much warmer, has a bit more of a cheery attitude, kind of filled with toys in the lobby, and instead of the usual dead professor portraits that you see in regular hospitals, you get life-size paintings of Disney characters like Snow White, Cinderella, Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket, etc. So yeah, I was built to kind of be a children's paradise, but as one person said, if you look closer, reality hits you hard like a semi-truck to a face. That most of these children that are admitted there basically die within a month, despite treatment. It's a fact of life, unfortunately. These children that are submitted to this children's paradise to be treated and so are doomed to die. Unfortunately, they don't even know. And Farber was saddened by this too, and thus this is the extent that the Jimmy Fund has made. So he needed something bigger. He needed someone to help him with this, someone who was politically and financially invested into this. And thankfully, there was this specific someone that actually was on the scene and had those specific things that he was looking for. She was actually a rather famous person, called Lovebird, called Miss Lovebird by her first name, and a bunch of other stuff that she's known for, being friends with celebrities and so, and politically against cancer. The one and only Mary Woodland Larsker. Mary Woodland, her maiden name, was born to a company executive and an Irish immigrant whom started off as a saleswoman, but eventually grew a lot larger in the political scale, eventually becoming one of the most influential businesswomen of all time. And well, both of her parents are great, and she was bound to follow the same footsteps as them into achieving greatness. After she graduated from college, she became a saleswoman, like her mom was, and started working up through the business world, and became, like her mother, one of the greatest businesswomen ever. But unlike her mother, she decided to set her eyes into something that was more personal. Her mother, as I aforementioned, was diagnosed with cancer and died shortly. Attempting to engage the whole country in this, she turned to politics and politically engaged everyone into funding her to fight cancer. Miss Woodland then met a man by the name of Albert Larsker. This guy was the CEO of his own company and was a very important business figure. They had a pretty good conversation, and well, eventually they got married. This being Mary's second time and Albert's third time. And they stayed like that for a very long time, with Mary and Albert starting up a lot of campaigns to fund against cancer, and it worked quite a lot. But there's one thing missing. She needed someone who was in the medical world that was working on cancer, was looking for a business partner that can help fundraise stuff. And Farber was looking for the same thing. And thus they teamed up and fundraised a lot. The new fundraiser for the American Cancer Association was much more than the house that Jimmy built, which is the Jimmy Fund, by the way. And it went to millions and probably billions of dollars. And though despite that, they still weren't close. Like the drugs were only temporarily effective, but not so soon. Well, but chemotherapy was still on the way, so the fundraising was still quite effective. So unfortunately, soon, Mary's own husband, Albert, suddenly developed cancer and died. Which was just a great struggle for Mary because now having someone else that she loved die to cancer was really heartbreaking for her. And the same thing happened to Farber, except it happened to him. He supposedly got an early version of colon cancer, but was lucky enough to survive. And yet, he never spoke about it. He never spoke about it in the meetings he went. He never spoke about it when he was trying to campaign against cancer. He never spoke about it anywhere. And not even his son, who grew up later, even talks about his father's illness with cancer. And so this only fueled their motivation, this ignited their motivation and created a larger flame. And for now, this is where I end my reading.
Okay, so there is interesting part. So you talk about this story has a lot to do with about fundraising. Is that right? On people dying from cancer.
Yes, fundraising because obviously you can't just cure cancer yourself with raw ingredients. For example, you can't just somehow get a book on cancer and get all the raw ingredients like eggs, butter, bananas. But
Yeah.
and though bananas are not really related to cancer, and I wish they were, it doesn't simply work like that. You need a ton, and I mean a ton of money to put into research and that effort, and to pay fellow assistants to help you with your research.
So okay. So there is two things. There's one thing that I did not know. Is you say the first thing you said with the first money coming from Jimmy fundraising, he created an hospital where he replaced the picture of the doctor.
Old professors, not doctors.
Old professor, replaced by
Disney characters.
Disney characters, which is today, if you go to a hospital for kids sections, you will see that.
Yeah, I did notice that because well nowadays they change it to like portraits of like well-known famous characters so that children would not be spooked out by the big looming portraits of professors that already died.
Yeah. That's the first thing. The second thing you say is finally everyone die from cancer if they don't die from something, from another disease, you know. I mean, but cancer seems to be is that one of the most, if you look at the people who die today, is a big percentage of people who die from cancer? Or?
Oh, relatively, it's still pretty small, but it's a bit big nowadays.
So what we say before is that cancer was not, we didn't hear a lot about cancer before because people were dying from other diseases before even to get cancer, to get killed by cancer.
Yes, because the life expectancy was shorter, and people didn't really thought much of cancer, and so. And cancer was a really rare case where in a world dominated by diseases. And once people killed off all those diseases, basically like a jungle, everyone cut off the trees, revealing the hiding predator within there, ready to pounce and strike. And that predator is cancer.
Okay, so with all the money that they got, I mean, you don't know yet. You say they make more progress on chemotherapy, more than
Actually, chemotherapy was mentioned when Mary Larsker was introduced to Sydney Farber by this guy named John Heller, who said he claimed to know the man who invented chemotherapy, which is actually kind of what Sydney Farber did. Because chemotherapy is like using chemical drugs to fight off cancer. So.
Oh, okay. What did you like in this chapter?
Show that it wasn't just pure scientific knowledge that led to breakthroughs in cancer. It's also the budget.
So the budget will pay for the scientists that will work for cancer.
Yes, because to be frank, organisms are very, very expensive to buy.
So there were in previous chapter you talk about another charity that deal specifically with Hollywood star. It's okay. Is that now the same thing? The American Cancer Society, is it the same thing or it's something?
The Variety Club, yeah.
The Variety Club, you're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that the same thing or a different thing? The American Society, Cancer Society.
Somewhat, yeah. It's I think I like to believe that the Variety Club helped with the American Cancer Society.
They both help in different directions. This is not the same organism. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's what you like. So you think you will find other way to cure cancer through this book?
Yes, potentially.
Okay. Okay. So let's wait for you and see that. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
No problem.